Straya, how are you going? How are you going? Are you right? You should be. Why is that, Jim? Well, it's Wednesday. Hump Day, July 9, and this is my last show for a little bit. So, I mean, I'm stoked about that. I don't know how you're feeling, but either way. This is NBA Straya. I'm your host, James Clements. I'm here in Larry Armour Studios for a big wrap-up show of free agency, all this sort of stuff, all the trades. We've got trades. It's like a Motley Crue song, but much more boring than girls. Got a plenty to break down there. We've got all the Summer League Aussies in action as well, coming up very soon, which is very fun. The latest on the Aussies still out there in free agency. And literally then we'll just look at all the biggest moves that mattered from the free agency period, basically, right? So we're just going to quickly wrap up what's happened and what actually mattered. That's what I want to know. That's what I want you to know. You know? Come on. I like that. And also, we'll just briefly look from when we took a snapshot the other day of like what the title odds were for next season and how all these moves have actually shifted that. So that's kind of it. Yeah, that's about it, man. It's about it. Because I'm on holidays, basically. The Squid's on school holidays. He's been hanging out with me. We went to the Star Wars exhibit yesterday. I'll talk about that at the start of the show. And yeah, good times. I'm going to be in the Whit Sundays for 2 weeks after this. So I don't know. If we could get Josh Giddey to sign during the show, that'd be good. So without further ado, let's get into it. Episode 1301 of NBA Straya. Let's go!
This is Josh Giddey.
G'day, this is Andrew Gaze.
This is Jack White.
This is Joe Ingles.
This is Darcy Daniels.
This is Chris Anstey.
This is Matthew Delvedova.
This is Shane Hill.
You're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Straya.
And you're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Straya.
You're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening and watching NBA Straya.
This is NBA Australia. Let's do it.
Watch out for the shark attack!
Why, you better. What was that, Jim? I don't know. Better watch out for the attack of school holidays. Let's start there in, I don't know, no uncertain terms. School holidays are chaos. Just chaos. The Squid's been hanging out with me the last couple of days, which has been awesome. Love hanging out with the Squid. He's 6. He's very fun, very chatty, and loves Star Wars. We watched a bunch of the Star Wars movies for the first, well, not the first time. He sort of knows what's going on. He's watched a bunch of them already. But we're sort of just doing it, and it's great, and it's awesome. And yesterday we went to the museum here in Melbourne to go to the Star Wars exhibit, the Lego Star Wars exhibit. And I'll tell you what, one of our biggest things he and I have is building Star Wars Lego and gear, because he just flips out about it. He loves it. And so does his old man. So that's kind of fun. So this was a confluence of interests. And I'll tell you what, awesome, but holy crap, going to it during school holidays was just like, this is the only time we could really do it feasibly. But goddamn, it was just chaos reigns. Very fun though, we had a great time. He and I, well, we're there 5.5 hours in the museum because like he's also a massive dinosaur and like insect geology nerd. So we did all that. It was really fun. We did the IMAX as well for a little bit. Just good. Just great vibes. In school holidays, I mean, he's having a great time. I'm having a pretty good time as well. And that's it. So I guess we'll sort of just start there. Like we're, with everything sort of rolling to a very slow conclusion across this free agency period, we had a couple of like a smattering of trades today and everything. But I think like the biggest sort of remaining things still out there are essentially like annoyingly Josh Giddey related, which I'll break down in a second. And I mean, I might do a show when that happens, but I'm not going to take gear with me to the Whit Sundays. So if it does happen, I'll just do something on my phone. So you won't be completely without me if something does break regarding the Aussies. But I guess we should start the show the way we start every show here at NBA Australia. Is that right, Jim? With the daily whip around. That's right. I mean, we can go back to the other day where, what was it, Friday or Saturday? We did the 1300th episode of NBA Australia the other day. So we all went to the pub, which is tradition at this point, hanging out, doing our thing. I just get a photo of us at the pub. Basically, me and the crew at the pub celebrating 1300 episodes of NBA Straya. it was really cool. So that was really nice. And then the baby squid just absolutely lost the plot. So I think we lasted bang on an hour. I think our booking was for 6, because that's what you have to do when you got the family in tow. Your old mate Jim puts away a couple of pints, and bang, the squid just turns into a massive screaming pumpkin with like I don't know, at 6:55. He's like, all right, we're done. Let's get out of here. Bit of a shame, but you get that on the big jobs. Anyway, the daily whip around is, Jock Landale, the rooster, is off to the Memphis Grizzlies, which is pretty cool. So this broke, over the weekend. Excited for him. We talked about him being waived by the Rockets the other day and just how much of a dog act that was. But also, Jock Landale signs with the Memphis Grizzlies and also had a kid. So good job, Jock. That's an awesome... A, congrats on the rooting. B, congrats on the kid. C, congrats on the new team. Interesting spot there for him on the Grizzlies when you think about their center rotation and just how over the years, Triple J, Jaren Jackson Jr., hasn't been exactly a paragon of health. He has been okay at times, but otherwise, you think about Zach Edey in his second year, Brandon Clark coming off his he did an Achilles, this sort of stuff. Now you add a bit of Jock Landale into the mix. Love that for him. He should get a bit of run. You sort of think that he can come in, be a backup big behind Edey, play next to Jaren Jackson Jr., and away we go. So don't mind the fit. But more importantly, I think the vibe is pretty good. My only sort of question about the vibe with him in Houston was his defense going to be good enough for Ime Udoka just to go, that's my man, let's go? Or was it going to be his offense is great, his little bits and bobs here are very fun, but in this really super defense-heavy sort of Houston Rockets approach, is he going to stick? The answer, it turns out, was no. For the Grizzlies, a little bit different with Isalo, the new coach, and stuff like that hanging out. He gets to carve his own way. So, on your Jock. Tennessee, just up the road there from Houston, kind of. But still, it's a pretty nice landing spot, I think, for Jock. Out of all the other spots, it would have been good to see him maybe, the Warriors, who have just got no size, or perhaps, the Lakers, etc. But as I've tweeted out, he would have been an instant cult hero in Boston as well. But Memphis, here we go. The Grizzlies fans are going to love him. He just works his ass off. He's a hard ass, and I love me some big cock Jock. So, Jock Landale, the Grizzlies, that happened over the weekend. Otherwise, we had the 7-team trade, the record-sized 7-team trade, which was essentially all the moves from the first couple of days of free agency mashed together. So Phoenix get Jalen Green, Dylan Brooks, Cameron Maluach, Rasheer Fleming, Kobe Brea, and Daquan Plowden in a second. So that was all those picks and the players from the Kevin Durant trade. Houston gets Kevin Durant and Clint Capella. Brooklyn just gets 2 seconds for hanging out. Golden State, they get Alex Tui and Jemai Mashak. Sure. Atlanta get a second swap, David Roddy and some cash. I think David Roddy's now been waived. The Lakers get Adu Tiaro, there you go. And the Wolves got Rocco Zakowski and 2 seconds as well as cash. So this is all the moves the teams made on draft day, on throughout free agency. This all sort of just coalesced once the new NBA league year started on July 7th. So cool, 7-team trade. A lot of stuff happened. Not much actually really happened. Nothing out of the blue. That's exactly what we all knew was going to happen, and it all happened. What did come out of the blue, though, was the Norm Powell trade, which happened. The Clippers, the Yaz, and the Heat. The Yaz are just we'll take a couple of salaries and a bit of cash and some stuff for our troubles. So Norm Powell goes to Miami, which is a pretty interesting trade. John Collins, it's a tall cocktail, goes to LA Clippers, sure. Kevin Love, who becomes a math problem, which is funny. Kyle Anderson, and a 2027 Clippers second rounder goes to the Yaz. So apparently the Clippers essentially didn't want to pay Norm Powell a long-term extension. He was already a 31-year-old dude who had a breakout year. Probably wise to be leery of that, I would say. And the thing is, you just sort of look at the way that Kawhi, as well as Fat Man Who Barely Clan, James Harden are signed, it's through to 2027, right? So basically one more year, then they can have a shit ton of cap space. Well, so they didn't, they basically kept their cap sheet clear, which is kind of cool. And oh my God, geez, it seems like they might have a plan to replace Norm Powell. Hey, who could see this coming except, I don't know, everybody. Brad Beal is working on his buyout with the Phoenix Suns, right? And it very much feels like the Clippers have the inside track on just going, all right, Brad, come over here. As well as perhaps Chris Paul. So that's kind of like these are the other sort of things still to be worked out in the next few days, weeks, whatever, while we're not around, while we're on holiday. But it does feel like Brad Beal, so he's trying to figure out this $110 million remaining on his contract. And then if he gives up 13.9 of that and basically sacrifices that off his $110 million contract, gets the $96.9 million just basically paid out, gnarly, then Phoenix can stretch that out over the 5 years, duck both tax aprons at the moment, which is kind of neat. And then the Clippers could just snag him, I think, for whatever remaining amount of money they've got, which is like 5.6. So this is all sort of dependent on Brad Beal sacrificing a little bit of cash. Don't know if that's Brad Beal's nature, but who knows? It feels like with the Clippers sitting there going, come here, Bradley, we've got a role for you. We just traded Norm Powell, so just take his spot, bloody hell. Makes sense. And if they just bring back Chris Paul and go full Lob City, I'm just saying, Lob City with John Collins, hell yes. That's a tile cocktail right there. I mean, Chris Paul's old as shit, but he can still throw a fucking ball in the air. Let's do it. So I don't mind that for the Clippers. The Norm aspect of it was pretty weird. Miami is stoked. They basically gave up fuck all of stuff that mattered to them, right? Kevin Love, cooked, old. Slow-mo Cole Anderson barely made a fucking dent in their rotation this year and wasn't a needed player. Basically, to give up that and fuck all else to essentially go and get Norm Powell, that's huge. The problem is, you now got Tyler Hero and Norm Powell in the same backcourt all of a sudden. You're like, how's this work? Jesus. Sure. Anyway, John Collins on the Clippers. I mean, next to Zoobs, next to Brook Lopez in whatever lineups you're going to roll out there, don't mind it. He's solid. Defensively a bit all over the shop, but is still a solid NBA player. So why the hell not? Roll the dice, Clippers. And, I mean, Kevin Love, is he going to get a buyout and just retire? Is he going to get a buyout and just go wherever the fuck he wants? Dunno, but you do you, Kevin Love. You do you. There was another trade as well the other day. Cam Whitmore ends up on the Wizards. What? And this is the weirdest one for me, right? So the Wiz get Cam Whitmore, more like Cam Whizmore, from the Rocks, basically for a 2026 Chicago Bulls second rounder and a 2029 Sacramento Kings second rounder, which is, not bad. This dude was like, the 20th pick a couple of years ago. The weirdest part, so I love this for Washington. Cam Whitmore might seem like a bit of a head case, maybe, and the Wizards don't have a really good track record just saying bang, bang with those dudes. The weirdest part, though, was apparently Phoenix could have essentially just had Cam Whitmore in the Kevin Durant trade, and they opted instead for more second rounders in the future, which just boggles my fucking brain, apart from the simple fact, yes, they're trying to duck under this tax apron. So that's... You're making moves regarding the money at that point if you're Phoenix. You need wings. Anyway, so Cam Whitmore goes to the Wizards instead of the Suns. Great job by the Wizards. Jay Huff, he's off to Indiana. And so this is why Jock Landale to Memphis fits a little bit better, right? Jay Huff was their big backup. Last year, solid pickup for Indy for a second rounder and a second round swap. Cool. Then Jock Landale just goes straight into his spot on Memphis. And then we also had another one today. Washington and the Spurs. Kelly Olynyk is off to San Antonio next to Wembanyama and your man Luke Cornetto. So that's in exchange for Malachi Branham, Blake Wesley, and a 2026 second rounder, which is the least favorable of Dallas, Philly, and OKC. So that's pick 60 next year, basically. Because OKC is just going to win it again. Love this for San Antonio. And I'll talk about this in the moves that mattered, but that's a pretty big one. just surrounding Wemby with shooting. I'm fucking here for it. There is also the weird Jonas Valanciunas situation right now where he's like, man, my name is Jonas. I'm carrying the world to Greece, fucking. I want to play for Greece League and do shit in Greece. He's like landed in Greece and Denver's like, not on our watch, pal. Get ready to learn Denver. Which is fine. Apparently there are reports that it's up to like 12 million euro per fucking year, which I just think is insane. But you think about his deal. He's been traded for Dario Saric. He lands in Denver. Denver are like, nah, man, you're paying for us. We're not accepting a buyout, whatever. Fuck you. Jonas is like, I'm already in Greece, fucking. And so we've got this strange fucking situation where you're like, Jonas, this might be the best spot you've played in, checks notes, ever. Backing up, my name is Jokic, and off you go. Like, what are you doing? You've got the Joker in front of you. You can just hang the fuck out, play for fucking, 18 to 24 minutes a night, laugh it up, boom, off you go. How is that not a better situation than, like, for 1 year than just going to Greece now? Just fucking sign with, what is it, Panathinaikos? Isn't that right? Next year. Come on, man. What are you doing? It's very strange. So he was in Athens hanging out. Denver just like, nah, we fully expect him to play for us. So here we go. We're about to find out. So anyway, weird situation there. Other little bits and bobs. Anthony Davis had a detached retina. Just when you thought he wouldn't get any weirder, apparently had a detached retina that he suffered during the season, which is pretty fucking crazy. So, I mean, he missed, 6 weeks with a groin injury at the end of the season. Well, yeah, in the back half of the season for the Mavs anyway. But a detached retina. This dude, maybe that's why he doesn't shoot threes. He just can't fucking see properly. Paolo Banchero signed his 5-year maximum rookie extension, which could get up to $287 million. I think it starts at $235. But if it makes All NBA, it goes up to the Supermax. That means Orlando is locked away. Paolo Banchero, Franz Wagner, hello, Jalen Suggs. Obviously, they've got Desmond Bain there as well. They've just got their core locked away. So, you better fucking hope they're good this year. Right? Because you're suddenly paying a lot of that Amway money for fucking like a bit of a shit team if it doesn't all work. It better fucking work. I obviously think it will. I love this Orlando team as long as they're healthy. Like, everything that could go wrong last year kind of did, where they're missing Paolo, they're missing Franz, and they sort of keep, treading water. Then they lose Suggs and it all goes to shit. Mo Wagner as well did his ACL. They brought Mo Wagner back on a $5 million deal for the 1 year, but Paolo signs that and also gets an interesting one where it's a player option on the final year of that. So it feels like, yeah, you work out an extension before that all happens, but boom, Paolo's going to get paid. And speaking of extensions, Nikola Jokic, that's right, my name is Jokic. He's not going to get an extension this summer. He doesn't want an extension this summer, apparently. He's like, nah, we'll talk about it next year. And everyone's like, that's a bit weird. It's like, well, it's not that weird because he can make $80 million more if he doesn't sign it this year. He's got 3 years left on his 276 5-year extension that he signed back in 2022. And he's got a player option the final year of that, which is worth $62 million, right? He could sign a 3-year, $200 million extension this summer, or he could just fucking wait and get $80 million more in a year's time. I think the smart thing would be to wait. Like, if you've already made all that fucking money, like, you're not afraid, but what if he suffers a career threat? He's still got fucking 3 years left on this current contract, so she'll be right. All right, and that's where it is with all the sort of moves, etc. The latest other signing stuff was that Ryan Rollins got picked up by the Bucks, 3-year, $12 million deal. Mo Wagner with his 1 year, $5 million. James Wiseman with his Achilles is back to Indy on a 2-year, $5.6 million one. Big Buddha Lowry's running it back for 1 more year in Philly as well. And the deal that Luke Cornett signed in San Antonio. So now that they've got Cornett, Olynyk, and Wemby, I love this for the Spurs. His 4-year, $41 million deal is fully guaranteed for the first 2 years. The third year is only $2.5 as a partial guarantee, and the 4th year is non-guaranteed. So that's a fucking great deal for the Spurs, and Cornet gets paid a little bit. So that's kind of nice, isn't it? Yes. But, Jim, what about the Aussies? Wherefore art thou the Aussies? So, Josh Giddey. And this is... The Josh Giddey situation is very, very, very complex and, dare I say, fucked, right? So, as a restricted free agent, essentially, Josh has his qualifying offer sitting there. Anyone who wants to offer him a contract can. Anybody who wants to do that, however, as a restricted free agent, they have to be under the salary cap. So, with nobody under the salary cap anymore and not having any space to sign him to a offer sheet where they go, hey, Josh, we like you. Here's X amount of money. There's literally nobody out there who can pay anywhere near the $30 million a year that he's after. That Emmanuel Quickley contract is his benchmark, right? It leaves him over a barrel, and Chicago just going, look, we don't want to pay you $30 million a year, Josh Giddey. And the doomsday scenario for them is like Josh Giddey going, all right, cool, suck my dick, boom. We're going to play on the $11 million qualifying offer, and we'll be an unrestricted free agent next year. $11 million is a lot of money. He's 22. 6 teams have terrifyingly large amounts of cap space next year. Very easily could be a lot more too, right? This is the thing when you've got all these deals under this new salary cap as it keeps going up. This year was like a crunch year where we had a flurry of signings the last couple of years on deals that are like, 2, 3, 4 years long. A bunch of shit just comes off the books next year for a bunch of teams, right? It is crazy the amount of teams that are just like, oh shit, we got like fuck all money. It's like, Utah and even Chicago has got like a pretty clean sheet as in next year. So there's a crap ton of money floating around next year. At some point, that becomes his only leverage, right? Where he's just like, fuck it, cool. I'll play on the qualifying offer. Fuck you guys. I'm going to make even more than that. That's the betting on himself, blow it up, fuck you option. The other option is just probably meeting somewhere in the middle. Who knows if that actually gets done. The funny part for me is that Chicago has not fucking hesitated in the past to just go, DeMar DeRozan, Zach LaVine, Vujicic. Doesn't fucking matter. They're getting paid. Kobe White, you get the money. Like, everybody's getting money. And then they finally got to our man, Josh Giddey, went, I'm not so sure. Oh, geez. If you ask me, it's just another case of blatant anti-Australian bias. Just classic. Anyway, so that's where we're at. So apparently they're not close on a deal, but by the same token, that's the sort of shit that you say while you're negotiating. So I will do a video once this all gets announced. I'll probably be sitting on a beach in the Whitsundays just hanging the fuck out doing nothing. Probably shit-faced. And and then I'll do a video. Josh Giddey got paid, blah, blah, blah. Or he signed his qualifying offer. Either way, I'll do a video and you'll know what's going on. The other Aussie is Ben Simmons. I mean, who is out there in the market? Who needs a formerly athletic, defensive trier who can't and is afraid to shoot? Anybody? Who? Step right up, sir. Step right up. Yeah, I can't imagine why the market is thin for a bloke who always gets hurt, has a rooted back. Thanks a lot, Mayor Jammer. And is afraid to shoot the fucking basketball on the basketball court. I'm just saying, it's not a great situation. And I think this is the point where we all just can collectively go, who fucking cares? Like, the bloke's cooked. If your back's fucked, your back's fucked. If not, fucking prove us wrong. I don't care anymore. Like, crook, take a fucking shot. Show me another workout video, please, where you hit a bunch of uncontested threes. That's awesome. Do it on a fucking NBA court, and then we can chat about Ben Simmons being a decent basketball player. Otherwise, fuck off. Patty Mills! Just saying, the Spurs have got a couple of empty roster spots, and they are looking to find a backup guard who's got no guaranteed role, but is kind of handy, and a good vet. As I tweeted out, oh my God, that's Patty Mills' music. Let's bloody go. And the other one is Alex Dukas. Got reported today that he's off to the Brisbane Bullets. That's right, the Brisbane Bullets have gotten Oklahoma City Thunder legend Alex Dukas, who is quite literally right now celebrating Alex Dukas Day in Oklahoma City. Seriously, July 8, which is the day back there, is Alex Dukas Day in Oklahoma City after they won the title. Congratulations, Alex Dukas, for having a day all to yourself in Oklahoma City. You would have been a Seattle Supersonics legend for fucking ever. Instead, you're now a Brisbane Bullet who played for Oklahoma City and won a title. That's awesome. But come on. Just imagine if you had been a Supersonic legend forever on NBA Australia. And the other Aussies, this is the one that we just wanted to update really quickly. The Summer League Aussies that we talked about the other day. Olgs actually did a really good piece on ESPN about this, and also threw in a couple of the Kiwi blokes in there too. But not much has really changed apart from now that Rocco is officially a Timberwolf. I expect him to be on the roster. Will the Thrill Magnay is on the Grizzlies Summer League roster as well, which is fantastic. But you got the Atlanta Jacks, which is Jack McVeigh and Jack White playing for the Hawks in Summer League. Dave O'Hickey and Lockie Olbrich are on the Bulls Summer League team. You got Rain Smith and Tyrell Harrison on the Nuggets Summer League roster. You've obviously got Alex Tui, Taron Armstrong, and Alex Higgins-Tishter on the Warriors roster. Tyrese Proctor's out there for the Cavs. You got Bilwali Bales on the Knicks, which is amazing. Rocco with the Wolves. I think Alex Dukas was still listed on that Oklahoma City Thunder Summer League roster. But if reports are that he's signed with Brisbane, who knows what's going to happen there. And Johnny Furphy's obviously playing for the Pacers, which is kind of cool. You got Sam Menenga on the Lakers. He's a Kiwi, but you get that on the big jobs. Amari Moore, the Southeast Melbourne Magic Phoenix. He's out there for the Spurs. But it's pretty good. So McVeigh, White, Hickey, Olbrich, Rain Smith, Harrison, Tui, Higgins-Tishter, Taron Armstrong, Will the Thrill Magnay, Proctor, Bales, Rocco, Furfs. Like, it's just a shit ton of dudes, and that fucking rocks. I'm so happy. So it'd be good to see maybe a couple of them pick up spots here and there. And in the case of like someone like Johnny Furphy, just getting some nice run and showing us what he can do. Otherwise, I reckon we could just about wrap all this up, right? Because who's left in free agency after all this? Summer League's about to start in the next couple of days. Dame Lillard, done for the season with his Achilles, but he's still a free agent. Josh Giddey and Jonathan Kuminga, along with Cam Thomas and Quentin Grimes, are in restricted free agency hell at the moment where no team has cap space, so they're just negotiating with their own teams. It's a bit fucky. Al Horford, still out there. Warriors, Lakers, Knicks, probably don't need him now. Nuggets, probably don't need him now. Cavs, who knows? Feels very Golden State or the Lakers, doesn't it? Rusty Westbrook, pretty funny. No one's up for that just yet. Who knows what's going to happen there? Chris Paul, Malcolm Brogdon, obviously Malik Beasley with the investigation hanging over his head, and that's just about fucking it. Like, there's fuck all other names out there. So in terms of like, I mean, let's see if Bobby Boucher's been picked up anywhere. Don't think so, but yeah, GP2, Marvy Baggs, Chris Boucher, Precious, Trey Lyles. Yeah, she's a bit light on the ground, and that's why I'm sort of like, all right, cool. Like, if anything pops off, we might jump on and do a Friday show this week, but otherwise, these will just come out in dribs and drabs across the rest of the US summer. So, with all this in mind, the biggest thing, when I'm chatting about basketball at this point in time, is like, oh, Jim, what are you up to? Are you chilling out? I'm like, well, for the most part. So, what's happened in free agency? Well, some stuff happens. Like, well, does any of it matter? It's like, yes. So let's do the big moves that mattered. Obviously, the biggest off-season moves that have mattered so far. And we sort of cover this in winners and losers. But there's a clear, like, for me, like, top 4 where some teams just sort of did some shit and you're like, oh, fucking yes, mate. Houston is the obvious one. They got Kevin Durant. You know? They got Kevin Durant. They also got Dorian Finney-Smith and Clint Capella. Brought back Fred VanVleet, Steven Adams-Brew, Jay Sean Tate, Al Jefe. They extended Jabari Smith Jr. But basically, they just went, So who's that over there? Oklahoma City. Right, how do we combat that? All right, size and length and defense. Fucking cool. Also, we need a one of the 13 greatest players of all time who can score. Because we couldn't do that before. Now, I don't mind our chances. Houston, that was huge. All those moves legitimately mattered for a team that was, the second fucking seed anyway last year. Now they got Kevin Durant, got Dorian Finney-Smith, got a backup defensive big in Capella. Don't mind it. Staying out west, way out, we're Denver. As long as my name is Jonas plays for them, right, as I sort of said the other day, swapping out Michael Porter Jr., DeAndre Jordan, Russell Westbrook, and Dario Saric, and getting back Cam Johnson, Tim Hardaway Jr., Jonas Valanciunas, and Bruce Brown, that is just like, hey, what do we not have? Shooting in depth. Hey, what do we got now? Shooting in depth. That's awesome. You got a bit of depth, got a bit of shooting. You got a more reliable sort of version of Michael Porter Jr. and Cam Johnson, and people have been spending fucking the last week going, yeah, but he's played less than Michael Porter Jr. I'll tell you what, though, when Cam Johnson has played, is wildly more fucking reliable on the court and isn't a fucking space cadet. There's a lot to be said. And this has gone down in the NBA Straya annals, the annals as it were, of one of the great old mate no mates. Was at a point last year when they had a team dinner and no one invited Michael Porter Jr. on the Denver Nuggets. Like, it was an amazing story. Absolutely fucking hilarious. There is a lot to be said for getting a fucking dipshit space cadet off your fucking team and just replacing them with like a Swiss Army knife, do-it-all, solid veteran wing who's like pretty fucking good at that. Cam Johnson. Get some other vets, get a lot of depth, a lot of know-how, organizational knowledge, and Bruce Brown back. Denver. Those are the moves that matter. Like, that is another team going, oh yeah, we do have the best player in the fucking NBA and on the planet right now, Nikola Jokic. Hello. Maybe we should build around him and actually give him a shot at winning the title again. Way to go, Denver. It's about fucking time. Out east, the other two teams that really sort of threw their hat into the ring alongside the likes of the Knicks and Cleveland. Oh, yeah, and also Mike Brown got announced as the Knicks coach. Great. Obviously, Atlanta went, cool. What do we need? Defense and shooting. Let's get some of that. They get Nick Alexander-Walker. They get Luke Kennard. All of their stuff, like getting an unprotected first for next year. They get Ace and Newell. They get some more size. They get some more shooting. They get some more defense. It all just coalesces into a team that should be a top 5 team in the East easily next year, as long as it all goes right. Atlanta, that's a move. Those were the moves that mattered. That was a team that actually made some moves that matter. And the other one out east is Orlando. Getting Desmond Bane was huge. Bringing back Powell, massive. And like, I don't know, getting Taz Jones, basically getting any fucking point guard who can pass the ball and dribble it and get other dudes set up. I'd still love Chris Paul just to go to Orlando on the veteran minimum and put Anthony Black and Tyus Jones back through like the Chris Paul Point Guardery University for good point guards. Still, I think Orlando is just completely primed if they can stay healthy. Bringing back Mo was handy as well, just to really fucking give the East a real nice crack this year. Just saying. Other moves that mattered, I think the Spurs putting some more size around Wemby is awesome. Cornette and Olynyk, more size and shooting. Milwaukee getting Turner to replace Brook Lopez. Yes, you lose Dame. They desperately, speaking of a team that needs any sort of point guard, Chris Paul, hello. But the Bucks, look, that move matters because it keeps them vaguely relevant around Giannis for one more year. And as I said, time after time, this is them going, chips, cool. We're already fucking pot committed around Giannis. On one hand, we could trade Giannis, or we have to keep building and doing crazy shit. They went with the crazy shit. Got to respect it. The Lakers, the moves that mattered. This was a 3 seed in the West last year. They now have a serviceable center. That's right, a big fella. Now, DeAndre Ayton, talk about space cadets and dudes who are just like, I'm not entirely wildly convinced he's a good center, but he is big. JJ Redick might fucking hate him. LeBron might have him killed. Luka is just like, I don't know, can you catch a lob? And Ayton is like this weird mix of a dude who's like, no, let me do these little face-up jumpers. No. Oh, am I a lob threat? Very rarely. Check this out. Still, he's big. He gets like a fucking center. That's fine. That will matter for the Lakers at points this season, right? The biggest move that matters for the Lakers is whatever the fuck LeBron is doing. Like, is LeBron in or is he out? This fucking weird passive-aggressive bullshit has been going on for so much of his career that it's like, bro, you're fucking 41. Like, grow up. Like, we get it. Oh, you better do what I want or I might leave. The Lakers at this point are going, cool. We don't really care. Like, you were here, you got us a title. Thanks, peace. And I kind of love that. So the move that matters the most for the Lakers is whether or not they just tell LeBron, fucking dude, you're the one who opted in. Either fucking fit in or fit the fuck out. You figure this out this time, you dickhead. Like, do you want us to? I will trade your son right now if you're being a dipshit. Imagine holding that over somebody's head. That's fucking crazy. But the Lakers, the Ayton move, getting LeBron just opting in and going, what are you going to do now? Like, cool, you got Jake LaRavia or whatever the fuck. But Ayton with Luka, you just need some shooting. You need some more defense. I don't know. But LeBron being on that team matters. Ayton being on that team matters. Boston, it matters that they lost the Extreme Zinger Meal.
Extreme Zinger Meal.
Because that was part of the... Oh, I actually forgot to mention that in the Atlanta thing. Yeah, they've got the Zinger now. That's pretty great too. But Boston, it matters. These are the moves that matter because it really hampers their ability to really contend next year, you think. Flip side. No Zinger, no Jrue Holiday. You get Anthony Simons, who they haven't actually announced yet, but it's a bit weird. They've replaced them on the cheap. They're saving themselves lots of money. Great. Have you got anyone who can play center on your roster? Anybody? Anybody? Yeah. You've got Luka Garza. Cool. Either way, look, Boston will be more solid than people think next year. Don't worry about that. But yes, as we'll get to in a second in the title odds, those moves mattered because it fucking put a huge quathak in their title odds for next year. And finally, the moves that mattered, the Norm Powell trade for the LA Clippers. As part of their offseason when they've gotten Brook Lopez in, they bring back Nick Batum. And essentially go, well, we're just clearing a little bit of space and room so we can get Brad Beal. If they get Brad Beal and they bring back Chris Paul, you'll have James Harden, you'll have Kawhi Leonard, you'll have Zoobs. You'll have this really fucking weird, old-as shit team that if it were any other team that wasn't named the LA Clippers, I'd really like. I'd like their chances of just puncher's chance. What do you reckon? But because it's an accursed franchise like the LA Clippers, they're fucked. So the moves matter, but this doesn't take place in a vacuum. The Clippers are never going to win shit because they're the fucking Clippers. Steve Ballmer has got more money than fucking God, but he doesn't have more money than, well, he's got more money than sense as well, right? Because the first thing he should have done is change their fucking name. You can't get that LA Clippers stank off you just by like changing the logo a million times or moving and building an entire new arena and moving there and making an awesome experience. They're still the LA Clippers. And like the amount of times they've done this throughout their history where it's like, oh, no, it's a new era. You've got old-ass Kawhi, old-ass Harden, maybe old-ass Brad Beal, old-ass Brook Lopez, old-ass Nick Batum. And you're like, oh, but we've got cap space in 2 years. Like, great. You'll just do it all again and not win shit. But those moves did matter in the West. Gives them a puncher's chance. But because it's the Clippers, those punches will probably get them to a Game 7 where they'll shit down their legs. The classic. Honorable mentions. I mean, there were some other good ones, like the Grizzlies, sure, getting some depth, but getting Jock Landale. Detroit, getting a couple of extra little bits and bobs. I still remain wildly unconvinced about the Duncan Robinson pick there, but my sweet baby Karras, I don't know, just kind of weird. Charlotte just got like incrementally better with their drafting and their pickups. The Warriors still to be determined. The Suns, that is just a shit show. Good on you, Devin Booker. Keep getting paid. The Pelicans, that's a horror show. Those moves mattered, but it's because like you're dig up, stupid. Dig up. Brooklyn, Tankville, good on yous. The Knicks, you got a new coach, you got some depth. That kind of matters, but I'd still just, I don't know what's going to happen there. And the Sixers are the one that I want to keep an eye on. If they just can stay healthy, which is always going to be the biggest ask for the Sixers, what the fuck could they be next year? Who knows? But that leads us to the last little bit here, which is the title odds for next season. What are we looking at? What are we looking at for these title odds for next season? Well, it's a strange situation where we have OKC, who looks so fucking good. Go to two game sevens in their title run. They are massive favorites next year already, right? Makes sense. They were $3.20, but it's now $3.50. Why is that, Jim? Well, it's because the other West contenders got better. How much so? Well, Denver were $15, and now they are $8. Second favorite, equal second favorite for next year's NBA title, which is crazy, but not that crazy because you look at what they can do. They already took the reigning champs to 7 games in the second round this year. That makes a lot of sense. So good job by them. So it pushes OKC out a little bit. Denver move in to $8. Off we go. They're equal with the New York Knickerbockers of New York City, who were $9 and are now $8 because of they've actually finally got a fucking coach, but they've also got a little bit of depth, which is kind of nice. Jeremy Clarkson, Yabu and co. Not bad for the Knickerbockers. Cleveland have stayed, I believe, at $8.50, and they're probably the one I still trust them the most probably to get out of the East next year. Like, you sort of look at their matchups against the Knicks, would be a wildly fun series if we ever get it. Houston have gone from only $9 to $8.50, and this was because they'd already priced in the Kevin Durant move, but they are even shorter now. Orlando has actually gone from $12 out to $14, just because, look, I think some of those other East moves have just sort of a little bit of doubt in the Orlando brains. Boston is the big slider. They were still 13 because they hadn't changed yet. Now they're $41. The Lakers have blown from 13 to 15. Equal with the Wolves. The Clippers are now 19, which is down from $21. The Spurs were 23. That's now 76. I'm just saying, if there's any team out there that you're like, hey, Jim, who's the crazy flyer that out of nowhere you'd be like, oh, I don't mind that. $76 for the Spurs to win the title next year is probably it. The other one is maybe Philly, which is the funniest way to burn your money. They were $26 down there, 31. The Warriors have gotten short from 26 to 23. So just to put that all in perspective, the Spurs were 23, are now 76. Golden State were 26, now 23. Philly were 26, now 31. It feels completely opposite to me. I don't know how the Warriors are better and have a better chance. I don't know how Philly have blown out when they presumably get a healthy Paul George, Joel Embiid, Maxey, and McCain back to go with a rampant VJ Edgecombe. It looked fucking awesome at the Summer League stuff the other day. But the Spurs being 76, like, that's my one, oh yeah, Hail Mary shot. Let's fucking go. You can't tell me that you put a bunch of fucking, like, more talent on that team. You got De'Aaron Fox for an entire offseason with Wemby, with some shooting. Just saying. 76. Dallas are now 31, down from 36, despite Kyrie Irving saying, oh, yeah, look, I wouldn't bank on me being back for the playoffs next year. Just saying, I want to be 150,000% back. It's like, okay. And Indy have slid from 41 to 76. So is there anyone else out there who is even remotely of interest? And it's kind of not really, because you sort of just look, as I said, the Spurs being that big is pretty funny, and about where I kind of like would just go, well, yeah, you could sort of see Wemby just pulling it all together and just being the best player in the NBA and just taking the title. But the Grizzlies are at 91. The Bucks are at 46. Nah. Pistons 31. I just can't quite see them. The Hawks at 26. They've jumped massively up too. But yeah, there's not too many other teams that you're like, oh, what about them, Jim? Yeah. Grizz 91, Raps 176. Can't see it. So there you go. With OKC rampant favorites, you've got a bunch of West teams. So 350 for OKC, 8 for Denver, and 850 for Houston. Feels like whoever wins the West, again, could have gone through an absolute fucking bloodbath to get there. Whereas the teams in the East, you sort of think outside that top 4 of the Knicks, Cleveland, Orlando, Atlanta, Milwaukee, Boston floating around in there. Might have a slightly easier run, but either way. The Spurs, just saying, keep an eye on them. Otherwise, that's it. That's where we land. So, I guess the programming note is we'll be off unless something happens at the end of this week. We don't leave for the Whitsundays until Monday, so we could even do an emergency Josh Giddey show anytime up until I go then. But if nothing happens in the next couple of days that isn't shaking, if it isn't a move that matters, then I'm not going to do a show. We'll jump on and do any videos for anything else that sort of happens, especially any Josh Giddey news, obviously. But we'll be keeping an eye on the Summer League, obviously, all that sort of stuff. We'll be posting about it, all that sort of shit. So keep an eye on the socials. But otherwise, in terms of the actual show, we'll take a break for about a month and a bit. We will be kicking back up with NFL Straya pretty soon as well, Gaz and I, with the preseason popping off by the time we get to sort of August, September. Well, the season starts in September. So, but basically, we'll take the rest of July off on NBA Australia, probably all of August as well. So this might be the last you hear from me for 6 weeks, but keep an eye on the socials for any other sort of things that actually matter. But most of all, just want to thank everybody for another amazing year. NBA Australia actually did the biggest numbers it's ever done all this for this season, just gone. It was amazing, the support behind the show from the folks out there. You're fucking rule. The folks who jumped on board with the buy me a coffee, shout us a beer. The love is just massive. Oh, and that you will hear from me if you are one of the member tiered folks, because I will still do the member tier show for the members and the supporters on the buy me a coffee, shout us a beer link, which is in our bio. So if you want to do that, go do it, because we'll have another one at the start of August just for you, which is pretty fun. So you can support the show. Go buy us a beer, shout us a coffee, just hit the link in our bio, and off you go. If you join the membership tier, you do get like exclusive stuff, an exclusive show each month. We'll do some exclusive posts, all that sort of shit. Basically just for me to have a fucking crack at, whatever's on my mind. I'll just end up yelling about it on there. And also the socials. So thank you all for all the support across the year. It's been fucking awesome. Love you guts. We'll be back. We're going to change. I'm going to spend a bit of time actually sort of changing the, not so much the content, but probably the approach of what we're doing on the show, just so we try to speed everything up for you so you kind of are across everything that you need to know about. And I don't know, we make it easier and more fun and just sort of, a bit more chatty, try to get some more guests on. And that's all on me. So there you go. That's it for today. That's it for essentially, unless something happens in the next 4 days, the season. And we'll be back end of August, September. See how we go. It's going to be good. Looking forward to being in the Whitsundays. We've got 2 weeks in the Whitsundays, which is going to be awesome. Take the squids up there, get some fucking proper R&R, and off we go. So make sure you're following NBA Australia still on the Twitter, Facey, IG, TikTok, YouTube, all that good stuff. We'll still be posting on the socials throughout this time, so check it all out. Make sure you subscribe to NFL Australia as well. We'll be back with that pretty soon. Check us a rating, review on your Apple Podcast, your Spotify, YouTube Music, whatever app you use on your Android phone. It really does help out. To be, if you want to like put a bow on the season, just go write a review, give us a 5-star review, whatever you got to do. Help a brother out, would you? Big thanks always go to From Oslo for the intro and outro song, They Rule. Go check out all the other bands as well. House Hats, Joshua De Laurentiis, Fascinator, Gold Mines, Ramshackle Army, Iowa, Sex Jedi, Green, and Dozers. They're behind all the tunes you hear throughout the show. They rule. So smash them all on Bandcamp, Triple J and Earth, Facey, Apple Music, Spotify, whatever, however you listen to your tunes. Support Australian bands. That's what we're doing. Hey, who are you voting for in the hottest 100 Australian songs of all time? My short list is fucked. It is so big, it is impossible to get 10. I hate it. I'm so annoyed. I'm like, I'm not going to put Tame Impala on there. Can't do it. Jesus. And then you're like, what? What else is there? I'm like, we've got fucking Tumbleweed. Are we going to get them on there? Are we going to get, I don't know, Violent Soho? Can we get Dear Seattle in there? Can we get fucking Spiderbait, Jebediah? Can we get Akadaka? What? Can we get the Sunny Boys? It's just brutal. Anyway, so let us know what you reckon. But that's it. So again, thanks to all the legends out there who have sent through Nars throughout the season, who have supported the show, who have backed us up. It has just been fucking amazing all year just to do this one. I love and appreciate all of yous for the support. You all fucking rock. So we'll see you in a little bit. We'll probably see you in end of August, September. We'll probably see you in September then. All right? Sound good? Before that, you can see me on NFL Australia. So until then, this is NBA Australia saying, look after yourselves, would ya? Have a good off-season. Look after yourselves, would ya? And let us on! G'day legends, your mate Jim from NBA Straya here. That's right, I'm doing a thing at the end of the show. In the business we call it a thing at the end of the show, I guess. I don't know. Either way, all I'm just saying is just make sure you're rating, reviewing, starring, subscribing across all of the apps that you use for NBA Australia. Jump in the comments, give us a shout. We'll bang you in Nars. Any other questions? I'll have a crack. I've got nothing better to do, basically. Also, just ask any questions, tell me what you want to hear from the show, and sing out and let us know. And of course, if you want to help support the show, jump on the old dabble, use that code NBA Australia, click on the link that's in the show description or on the socials. It goes up whenever I do the morning vibes, etc. So if that's your thing, jump on there, use that code NBA Australia, and remember, look after yourselves, would you?